College Station, liking my situation, just me and Nuts, 2-bedroom house, working every day, around 60 hours a week, and then...
The brain aneurysm.
No, this one, I have 2 holes in my head.
Okay.
They drilled out part of my skull.
To alleviate the pressure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I liked it. And...
Your life back then.
Huh?
Your life back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, I'm moved out of my apartment. All my shit's gone. Still don't know where part of it is.
This was all done by your family?
By Aaron and Erica.
Okay.
So, write what you want, and then we can go to the bank and...
Well, let's talk about, okay, so they moved you over to Aaron's house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And they said, well, you just give me your Social Security money every month, and you have a place to live. You take care of things around the house, and everything's fine, right?
No, I didn't...
How did they word it? What was the deal with you moving in there?
Oh, no, it wasn't. I got discharged from the hospital. She picked me up.
Who's she?
Erin.
Erin picked you up from the hospital. Okay.
No, Richard picked me up. She picked me up from Richard's.
Who's Richard?
Co-worker.
Co-worker, okay.
Well, his mom and dad.
So this is in Beedi's area, College Station.
College Station.
College Station, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened to my deposit. It was $450. I can't never get a hold of that man. I've called him, I don't know how many times. Couldn't get a hold of him when I lived in the apartment. The air conditioner didn't work. It was dirty, paint all over. Anyway, different story. But Richard came and got me.
So back up. So while you were in the hospital, Erica
And Aaron.
and Aaron, your 2 daughters, decided to take it upon themselves while you were in the hospital to go and clean out your apartment without your permission.
Yeah.
Without your permission. Okay.
And then, like I said, Richard
And who picked you up from Richards?
Aaron.
Aaron picked you up.
And drove me straight to her house.
And drove you to the house here in Seabrook.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I didn't have any choice.
Okay.
They told me I had to leave the hospital.
Right, well.
And I'm like, okay, well, we'll get you a cab and take you to the homeless shelter. No, you won't. I ain't gonna I will not leave.
So the thing about it is, when you were in the hospital, you were under the impression you still had your apartment.
Yes.
So your 2 daughters are the ones who decided to go in and take your stuff out of your apartment illegally without your permission.
Yes.
Okay. So then, I knew that Erica was up at the hospital with you a few times. So did she tell you anything that was happening at that time?
I wouldn't have remembered.
Wouldn't remember? Okay. So you get out. Aaron picks you up and brings you back down here to Seabrook to her house.
Yes.
Now, what was the deal that she told you about your Social Security money after that, and you living there? Did she say anything about it?
I haven't even got Social Security yet.
Oh, okay.
They were pending.
Okay.
But then when I did, the only time she said anything was when she made an agreement with Erica, took my last $500 out of the bank after I got Social Security and gave it to Erica and told her it was her money. It wasn't Aaron's money. It was mine.
It wasn't Erica's money.
It wasn't either one of them.
Okay, who told who it wasn't their money? Aaron told Erica it was her money?
Aaron told Erica she would give her $400 or $5, I don't remember, to let me move in.
And that was back in December.
End of November.
Right, end of November. So that was after Aaron had you living in her house for like 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
And were they yelling at you, abusing you? Were they being ugly to you?
No.
I mean, nothing. Okay.
No, I cooked.
Brian Walker wasn't being a dickhead to you or nothing?
I did their laundry, cleaned their house, cooked the food.
Okay.
Got Clay up, him off to school.
Okay. So basically the deal was that Aaron, and without even discussing it with you, Aaron was taking your money every month that you were there, and then you had a place to live, and you were doing all the duties of the household too.
Yeah,
But it
she
was
didn't take my money until she told Erica that she would give her $400.
to take you and put you here.
Yes.
Did you know that I was living here at that time?
No.
Nobody knew. Nobody told you that by you moving in here that I was here.
No.
Okay, so this is the reason why. Did you know that later remember when I told you about Erica took $1,200 out of my hand, and she
I don't
kicked.
remember you telling me
Were
that.
you here when all my shit was on the front porch?
Huh. No, the only thing that was on the front porch was your vacuum and something else.
So you moved in after Erica had her son and his friends move all my furniture onto the
Was
grass.
it all out there?
No, yeah, it was all outside. She took my money. The very next day,
Well, she didn't tell me this, and
she didn't tell you that.
no.
Okay.
No, she didn't tell me any of that. All I know is she charged. I paid for November to the middle or later part of December. Rent, pet deposit, and I wasn't here.
They never got the pet deposit.
Huh?
The $150 that is supposed to go to this Ken Womack, the landlord of this place, that Erica took from you, right? She says you need to give me $150 for a pet deposit, right?
Right.
They never received it. So does that constitute that Erica stole $150 from you for no reason under false pretenses?
I don't know because Aaron gave it to her. So
Right.
Aaron stole it.
But when you were here, so Aaron stole it. So Aaron stole your Social Security money. Okay. So that's what
gave it to Erica.
And gave it to Erica.
Yeah. And they never got it.
They never got a $150 deposit from you or anybody else for a pet deposit on this place, ever.
They didn't get a deposit for your cats.
No, my cats were outside.
And they didn't get the deposit for him. I don't know. It's my daughter's.
Right. Well, that's why we're trying to establish. That's why we're talking about this, trying to establish the fact that
They screwed me.
they always are lying and they are always deceiving. Is that a truth or not?
Yeah.
Okay. How often have you seen Erica manipulate men to get what they want and she screws them over? A dozen times? Half a dozen times? Or too many times to remember?
I've never actually seen it.
Except with me.
But I know she does. But no, I've never seen it. Yeah, you.
So when it came to so here we are, April, right?
May.
She comes back into town. No, we are now. But I'm talking about early April, March, April. The last part of March, early April, she comes back in town from working out of town, right? It wasn't. Did she tell you she was going to Wisconsin to meet some guy from Latter-day Saints singles?
No.
She never told you about that guy.
No.
Okay, but she did tell you she's going to be in Wisconsin working, right?
No.
Or Minnesota, I mean. Minnesota.
Minnesota, Michigan. No, that's where Chance went.
Right.
Minnesota.
Now, you remember her telling you she was working in Minnesota?
She was gonna go to Ernie's fiance's house.
No, that's Utah. That's before that.
Oh.
So I'm talking before that. Before when she came back into town, and she brought me over here. Remember she said
She didn't tell me.
she didn't tell me where she was before then. Okay, I got a funny story to tell you about that. Okay, so she comes back in town after working out of town. The very first night that she's here, she gets with me. Is that right? Remember I came here for 3 days right in a row. Bam, bam, bam. And you were kind of when she first got back in town from working.
From where?
We're not at Utah yet.
Okay, well, I
So
didn't even know she left before that.
Yeah, she was gone out of town for 2 weeks at a time, 2-3 weeks at a time. Then she'd come back in. She was working.
But I didn't know that.
Well, when she wasn't here with you for weeks at a time, what did you think?
Oh, she'd fly out and work in different states, but
Right. So you knew that she was out there working in different states. She'd be gone for a couple of weeks, and then she'd come back.
usually, yeah, she'd go out of town and then she would come back. but it wasn't a couple of weeks at a time. It was just days at a time.
Okay, or you thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because she'd actually go off for 2 weeks at a time and come back. That was her kind of her schedule. So this last time that she came back, and all of a sudden you saw me coming around, were we not acting like we were boyfriend and girlfriend right away? In the bedroom all the time? So,
Yeah.
I mean, we were, weren't we?
Yeah.
She was leading everybody to believe that her and I were back together, right? I mean, that's what, is that the, I'm not going to answer for you. Is that the feeling that you were getting?
Yes.
Okay, and she told you that, what about me?
All she told me about you was she loved you.
Right, so she loved me. So the pretense was that she came back in from working that last time, and that she loved me and she was having me around.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then did you ever meet Matt?
I seen him in passing a couple of times.
So the time that as soon as she told
I can't even tell you what he looks like. He's tall.
Yeah, so when she was leading everybody to believe that her and I were back together and acting like boyfriend and girlfriend, she also had this other guy named Matt around too as well, right?
Now you're saying there's two Matts?
Same Matt.
She also had this other guy around, Matt. I've seen him twice.
Okay, so while she was leading everybody to believe that her and I were back together, she was also fucking this other guy or seeing this other guy named Matt.
No, this
Yes?
is...
Yes?
No. This is after you left. I don't even know where you went. Anyway, this was after you left, and I seen him in passing.
So I spent 3 days here. I left to go back to my place where I was living. Then you saw him here twice.
I don't know.
And you saw him here twice.
Yeah.
And then you saw her and I back together again. Within the same week's time. Okay.
I don't know if it was the same week.
Sure, it was on the same week. Yeah, pretty much. But then, it was 4 or 5 days. Then, she brings me back over to the house and tells me I should move in.
Yeah, when she told me, I don't know that part, but when she told me she was going to Utah to this, what's her, Karen? I said, now I gotta find a roommate so I can pay the bills, because I can't on my fixed income. She said, you got Scott. That's what she told me. And then she took off.
Packed her shit, put her in a car, and you watched her.
Oh, I came home. I don't know where I was, Todd's or something. Anyway, I come home and her car's out there loaded with all this crap. I'm like, what?
So she loaded her entire life out of this house and told you she was moving to Utah.
She told me when I seen her car loaded.
Right.
She didn't say anything before.
Seems kind of,
She had her car loaded.
seems like she had some kind of diabolical plan going on secretively and wouldn't tell anybody about it, right?
Something like that.
So would it be
She
fair?
was sneaking away with a car load of shit.
So it's fair to say that she came back, seduced me to come back to this house, knowing that I had a company that could make money, and that I was such a caring man that she knew I wouldn't put you on the street and I would take care of you, and she could go chase her Kool-Aid drinking dream. Is that safe to say? That she used this? Did she use that as a ploy?
Nothing's safe to say. But, like I said, I came home. I didn't know she was going anywhere until I seen the car loaded up and she said she was going to Utah.
How did it make you feel?
I told you. I said, now I have to find a roommate because I can't pay that much.
So would you say that this would be? Do you say this could pretty easily classified as abandonment of an elderly person? I mean, seriously, would you think that? Because she didn't know what I was going to do for sure or not, if I was going to stay here and take care of you. Wouldn't you think that you were being abandoned?
I just said, I thought, now I have to find a roommate because I can't pay this much money. When I don't make that much money, I'm on a set income.
Right. So you can't go out there and sustain your own existence. So that becomes pretty much constituted as abandonment. Yes or no? I mean, you got to think about it.
Okay, let me think after I swallow these. I'm really irritated.
Okay.
Not at you.
Of course not. No, I get it. I totally understand.
I can't breathe.
Oh man. Okay, so
Anyway.
this is so hard to do, man, because
Just write whatever. I don't care.
well, I mean, we're not going to write whatever. We're going to make sure that the timeline is the truth of what exactly transpired and what she abandoned you. She led me down a false road of intention, and the only intention she had was to get me here so you would be taken care of, because the rest of the family had abandoned you and were actually obviously stealing your money, which you've already said.
Yeah.
Okay, not treating you properly. You just got out of the hospital, so they took advantage of you. And they dropped you here, and then she decided to pursue her own
And take off.
And take off. Now, here comes my part of it. So here I'm being led to believe that because she said she wanted to marry me, but then you've already seen another man here, so she's obviously betraying me.
What? Oh.
Right, you saw Matt here during that time, so she's obviously betraying me. She was lying to me and setting me up to be here so she would take care of her abandoned mother.
Said,
I understand.
I've seen him twice.
Still
I don't know when it was.
Still betrayal. Okay, so when she leaves and I start telling you the things that she was saying to me, that she wanted to marry me, and you were like, what? And then the fact that she had cheated on me with Matt, and that the agreement between you and I was that month, and say that if this is true or not. I was under the impression the agreement was I was paying your half of the rent, I was paying the vehicle off, and I was going to repair it, and it was my vehicle, and that was a sale procedure, right?
Right.
Erica then manipulated it to, I'm paying the entire rent, and your $500 went to Erica's car payment that month. That money went to Erica's car payment.
Actually, it was $500.
$500. She paid her car payment with that. Is that correct?
But my agreement with her was $400 a month, and then she charged me the pet freaking.
Right.
And then she said she paid me back, but she didn't.
Okay. So when I agreed to take the car, I paid off the car $849. The agreement was to pay your half of the rent.
Yeah.
I ended up paying all the rent.
You did?
I did.
No, it was my part.
I paid it all.
She didn't pay anything.
Not a damn dime. Then she took your money and made her car payment with it.
For that she got in November, and I didn't even get it.
No, she got it in April. She paid the car payment in April. Your money. The first part of April, she took your money and made her car payment with it. Because I paid all the rent.
Yeah.
The rent was late. I paid all the rent. The agreement was between you and I was paying your half and to get the car paid off.
Right.
She subverted us. I paid all the rent. And she took your $500 and made her car payment with it. So, now, we are all under the impression, with all the text messages and everything that we know we have on file, that she had been in Utah up until no earlier than 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
I think I'd have to ask Erin.
No, you don't ask her. What do you remember? You didn't know she was in town until you went over there to clean the house.
I was cleaning the house.
That was a week ago.
That
was a week ago yesterday.
And I'm like,
because you had $60 in your pocket Monday evening last week. Because I didn't have any money. Because I didn't have any money last week.
No, and that's what Brian paid me.
That was last Monday. That's right. It's a week ago yesterday.
You sure it was?
Absolutely. No, it was a week ago yesterday. I haven't had any money to come in until this coming week. I don't have any money coming in. So that's how you were able to get your bottle and your cigarettes last week, is because they paid you for cleaning that house last Monday night.
I still think it was 2 weeks ago. I don't know.
I understand how time flies with you. That's why we're trying to point this down. You know what I mean? Discuss this with each other, because we got to be correct in our statements here in our timeline, because what she's trying to do is not correct. Harris County doesn't have jurisdiction over this because she was in Utah. The last time I had conversation, I've been with Jada for a month. The last time I had conversation with her was before I got with Jada. That would have been within the first week.
With her for a month.
This is already the third week of May. So it would have been the
It was
second week,
last day.
March, April, May. So it would have been, is it May or June right now? It's May.
It's
So
May 31st.
I've been with Jada 3.5 weeks, three weeks or so. Which means I haven't had contact with Erica via a text message or even voicemail since like the second week, no, within the first 6 or 7 days into May. And I stopped. I was done with her. At that time, she was only been gone.
Yeah.
She'd only been gone for two weeks, 2.5 weeks. So we thought she was in Utah, right?
Yes.
She was in Utah. She was in fucking Utah. So why is she filing charges to me here in Harris County just of last week when I haven't had any contact with her?
I
Since
have no idea.
you think it's some kind of diabolical plan by your daughter? Does that fit her modus operandi that you know of her being her mother?
I can't tell you. I don't know what her plans are. Evidently, you should know I don't know. She didn't tell me shit until I come home and her car was packed.
So does that sound like something that she would do something diabolical because of her mental condition of being a sociopath?